Hi friends, Prepared Suburbanite here. Today's episode is going to be all about canning with wine. So stick around.
Got to fill these jars to within 1/4 of an inch, which is just below the top of the jar. And I pack them in a little bit. The jar is hot out of the dishwasher. And then I take it over here. And I have the syrup prepared here.
Which is a combination of cider vinegar, granulated sugar, turmeric, celery seed, granulated garlic, and cayenne pepper. It's all mixed together. Vinegar and the sugar mix up until the mixture's semi-thick.
Syrup's thick.
And then after, yeah, it's almost a syrup. Then after we get the peppers packed in the jars, we'll ladle the syrup over the top of those, fill it to within
1/4 of an inch.
1/4 of an inch of the top. The lids have been boiling, so they're sterilized. We'll pop the lids on, screw them down, drop them in the water bath, and get them all in here. And then they've got to cook for how long?
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
After they're boiling.
10 minutes once they come to a boil. So that's pretty much the process. This is Cowboy Candy, and it's absolutely marvelous. Hot jalapenos in that sweet and sour sauce. It's just absolutely wonderful. Get a cracker, put on a little bit of cream cheese, 3 or 4 of the jalapeno slices on there, and just munch away. My grandkids love it, I love it, all my kids love it, and we go through, I don't know how many jars of this every year. We had a bumper crop this year of jalapenos. It's about the only thing our garden actually produced for us this year was the green beans, the jalapenos. The tomatoes were a total failure. We didn't get any more than maybe a dozen small tomatoes out of there between the heat, the wet conditions early on, the very dry conditions later on, and the super heat, together with a whole army of squirrels that have been stealing the darn tomatoes every which way but loose. So what we ended up having to do was, just a couple days ago when my grandson was visiting with us, we went to the farmer's market and got 2 big boxes of field-grown, vine-ripened tomatoes. Brought them back to the house, blanched them, peeled them, and my wife made her world-famous spaghetti sauce, and we canned that up. We've got 7 quarts of spaghetti sauce, and we took the rest of the tomatoes and canned those. So we've got 8 new cans of tomatoes, quarts of tomatoes, and that's what we did yesterday. And today we're going to be doing the Cowboy Candy. Now the whole part about canning with wine, I'm going to show you how that works, because this is an extraordinarily important step in making sure that you get the right results. This is a 2014 Pinot Grigio from Yellowtail Vineyards. And this is how we can with wine. canning with wine. Spent about an hour and a half yesterday coring and slicing all the jalapenos. We had probably 3 big bags full of them, gallon-sized Ziploc bags that were just chock full. And we picked a couple extras, cut them all up, put them in a jar, let them set overnight, and that's the ingredients, the main ingredient for the Cowboy Candy. Canning with wine. I get it. And sometimes I put it in so that there's too many peppers in the jar. But that's okay.
Yeah, better too many than not enough.
Got to really have the right amount of liquid in there to make them seal properly and cover properly. And that's prepping the peppers with the syrup on them. Try to get the air pockets and things like that. Make sure that the syrup is distributed properly throughout. Clean the lids. Clean the top of that with a vinegar-soaked paper towel. And then reach around, grab the lid, and the screw top. Tighten it, wipe it.
Tighten it, finger tight.
Finger tight only, yeah, don't go too tight with it, darn things. And then drop it right down into the water bath. That's got to come to a boil. We're going to cover it, and this is where we get to drink some more wine.
Exactly.
We'll be right back.
So this is how we like to eat our Cowboy Candy. We put a little Philadelphia cream cheese on a cracker, take some jalapenos, some Cowboy Candy out of the jar, put it on the cheese.
This is from last year, by the way, because we're still cooking the other ones in the water bath right now, and that's going to take another probably 20-25 minutes. Once we got to get it to a boil and then boil it for 10 minutes, and then we got to let it cool down. And the most difficult part about Cowboy Candy is you got to wait 2 weeks before you open the jar and enjoy it. That allows time for all the goodies to mix up in there and really permeate the pepper rinds so that you will really get the true flavor out of it. This is from last year, a batch that we had made last year, and like my wife just said, the cream cheese and that, perfect. Absolutely awesome.
Delicious.
Sweet, sour, crunchy, just the way you need it. It's a great hors d'oeuvre, great snack, and they're a lot of fun to make. So they've boiled for 10 minutes now, and now what we're going to do is kind of a bucket brigade. She's going to be pulling them out of the water bath, setting them here on the counter. Then I'm going to set them over on the kitchen table to cool down, and hopefully they'll start sealing, and hopefully we'll hear a couple of pops when those lids go. One.
One popped in the thing.
Two. We ended up getting a dozen. I'm going to post the recipe and the preparation instructions as part of this video, but know that you've got to add a little bit to it to get a full dozen. So it's calling for 9 half pints, the recipe does. So we added a little bit more to it so that we could actually do a full dozen half pint jars of Cowboy Candy. And those little suckers are hot, let me tell you.
And kind of wobbly, so be careful. Still with wine. There, do you hear that pop?
That one popped.
There's another one.
There's another one popped. All good and wonderful noises. So we got 5 up. Sounded like at least 3 popped, maybe 4. Yep, there's still 2 here that need to pop. We'll see how it turns out. Oh, there goes one.
Sometimes they pop before you get them out of the water bath. That's all good.
And canning with wine. The other thing to keep in mind is when you use up an old jar, you'll still have probably 5/8 of that jar full of the syrup. And let me tell you that that syrup makes the best base for chicken barbecue. It's the best chicken barbecue sauce you've ever had. You can doctor it up using that as a base, and it will turn your chicken into simply heaven.
There are lots of other uses for that as well. You can add it to a potato salad. You can put it on a burger. It's just, don't throw it away. Use it after you open the jar and finish the Cowboy Candy. Save it for at least 2 weeks and use it within that next 2 weeks. It's probably good way longer than that, but you'll feel safe if you use it within that 2 weeks. So there you go. I love that sound.
Got 9 up, 8 have popped.
Nine.
9 have popped. Hopefully you can hear that on the audio. That was number 10. It's just great. 2 more to go.
I'm pretty sure one of them popped before we took it out of the boiler. There's one.
I think we got 100%. We're doing good. This is the prepared suburbanite, reminding you to be prepared always and can with wine. Out for now.